The 2025 NFL draft just wrapped up this past weekend, and it was a great draft. Cam Moore being the first overall pick to the Tennessee Titans, Travis Hunter going to the Jacksonville Jaguars after they traded up, the Cleveland Browns getting some really good football players and some draft capital for next year, and a lot of other great moves from great teams, man. But one team who could have got a lot better, and it didn't really maximize their full potential, were the Baltimore Ravens. Now, as we know, the Baltimore Ravens, Eric DeCosta, their general manager, he always takes, for the most part, best player available. A few years ago, Kyle Hamilton fell right into his hands, and as we know, Kyle Hamilton is a all-pro safety doing all-pro things. And this year, he potentially got two more all-pro players, one being a safety slash DB, nickelback, and Malachi Starks, a really big corner, safety, nickelback, whatever you want to call him, from our Georgia Bulldogs. And you got a bit of a controversy player in Mike Green falling to you in the second round, which we know Mike Green kind of blossomed this past year into college football. Dude was going crazy, and he was put on my map after that Ohio State game. I believe it was week 2 or week 3. He was like leading the Sun Belt in sacks. Now, don't get me wrong. I do believe that Mike Green and Malachi Starks will be phenomenal players in the NFL. But in my eyes, I thought the Baltimore Ravens would draft a tight end. Especially this draft, and really last year, the past couple seasons, really, the tight end draft classes have been phenomenal. And I think this year is going to be a really great tight end class. You got Tyler Warren, Coslin from Michigan, you got Harold Fannin, Terrence Ferguson from Oregon, a lot of great tight ends, and the Baltimore Ravens, they missed out. Now, why is this important? Because the Baltimore Ravens, Mark Andrews, to be more specific, he's going into his last season of his contract, and as we know, man, Lamar Jackson is eating up a significant amount of that salary cap, and I just thought they'll do the same thing what they did with Patrick Queen, where they'll draft his replacement, develop him for a year, and then let him play, which we all know with Trenton Sampson. We all knew that once they drafted Trenton Sampson, Patrick Queen was on the chopping block. And pretty much Trenton Simpson is doing really, really good his first year as a full-time starter as that weak side linebacker paired up alongside Roquan Smith. And to be honest, I just thought that they would get a guy like Harold Fannin, Terrence Ferguson, or some guy that fell deep into the second or third rounds to pair alongside Isaiah Likely for the future. Lamar Jackson loves tight ends, and having Harold Fannin, Isaiah Likely, dynamic duo. Don't get me wrong, Mark Andrews and Likely, dynamic duo. But again, Mark Andrews is going to his last season of his contract, last year of his contract, and we know Mark Andrews, outside of that playoff game, he's just not been the same player since that 2020-2021 season. Now, don't get me wrong, Mark Andrews is still a really good player, but since 2022, I mean, just to me, he just doesn't look like the same player. And I just thought, again, they would just move in a direction like a Patrick Queen, draft his replacement, and move on from Mark Andrews after the 2025 season. Or, heck, even cut his contract after the 2024 season, which we all know when guys are the cause of the reason they lost or whatever, you know, they cut him immediately, scapegoat or whatever. But, man, I just thought the Baltimore Ravens would draft a tight end. Don't get me wrong. I do think Starks and Green would do phenomenal in the NFL, but that's just my point of view because they did it before with Patrick Queen, and I thought I would do it again with Mark Andrews. However, with Malachi Starks, that does bring a lot more versatility in that DB room. As we know, Kyle Hamilton, he's all over the place. He's safety. Next you know, he's in the box. He's at corner. He's on the edge. Same thing with Marlon Humphrey. He's a nickelback. He's a corner. He's in the box. He's on the defensive line. These guys are everywhere, and Malachi Starks fits that mold of this defense. He's going to be a great addition. You put him at safety, put him in the box, put him in nickel, do this, do that. He can do it all. With Mike Green, they do need some edge help, okay? Not the greatest edge room in the NFL, but Mike Green is going to automatically be a day one guy, week one, you know. I don't see him being a rotation piece. I do see him, if he has a great camp, if he's cleared up all the stuff he's going through, he's probably going to be a day one starter. And to have two of those guys, one of them was in the first round, which first round talent all the time, most of the time are day one players. But to have a top 20 pick projected, you know, and Mike Green to fall to you in the second round, which I know why he did, is still incredible. EDC always winning these drafts, crazy. Now, since we're in the AFC North, one other team I got to talk about, and I'm not going to talk about their late pick. I'm going to talk about the Cleveland Browns, and pretty much this is the end of Nick Chubb, man. I love Nick Chubb, probably my favorite running back of all time. But I think them drafting not one but two running backs and still having Jerome Ford and Pierre Strong Jr. on the roster, it's the end of Nick Chubb, man. It was a great run. I love you, Nick Chubb. You know, hopefully he comes back on a 1-2 year deal, and they cut either Ford or Strong. But I think them drafting two running backs, one in the second round, early second round, ironically, just like they did Nick Chubb and Judkins, and then they go in the fourth round or the fifth round to go get Dylan Sampson. I was just like, man, no, is this really the end of my childhood running back and Nick Chubb? That is super crazy. But anyways, man, I just wanted to drop this video mainly because I know it's been a very long time since I dropped a YouTube video. Life hit me like life, and I just wanted to drop this video. Videos will be coming back consistently on a weekly basis, man. It's your boy 4th and Goal, and we are out, man. Peace.